Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Tulley, President and Executive Writing Coach at Defend, Publish, and Lead, and welcome to episode 187, Making Your Case and Providing Evidence for Tenure and Promotion. So today's episode, we are joined by Lilian Mina, who is one of our Defend and Publish and Lead's longtime writing coaches. And she and I have both been through the tenure and promotion process. We've helped countless clients through the tenure and promotion process. And we currently support authors on writing these documents because there's a lot, as many of you know, that go into submitting an effective dossier. One of the reasons we want to offer these workshops in August, and I will be talking about the workshops that we are going to do, is because we really want to think through how we want to tie together the actual evidence that we're providing for a tenure and promotion case to the types of writing we do about that evidence. As somebody that preps people for a tenure and promotion at my university, I know one of the areas that things tend to break down is where there's evidence that doesn't seem to have any explanation why it's in the dossier, or there's writing about some evidence, but the evidence doesn't actually show the thing the person was writing about. So I know we're going to talk through a couple of these things, but the workshops that we're going to offer are August 6th and 8th, and they will be at noon Eastern time. I will put a registration link in the show notes. And we're really going to work through two different parts to tenure and promotion, which I'm going to have Lilian talk with us about. One of them will be on building your tenure and promotion dossier for some strategies for success. And the other one is going to be about making your case and constructing your arguments effectively, because these two pieces, as I just mentioned, are two sides of the same coin. So I'm going to turn it over to Lilian and let her talk about both of these workshops that we're going to do, and just have you share, what you think people can get out of them. What are some things that you see with tenure and promotion that we can help with? And we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Christine. Thanks for having me. So basically, these are the things that they don't teach us about in grad school. Unfortunately, they prepare you to be a good scholar, a good teacher, and then voila, you go. And then when the time comes for your tenure and promotion, it's like, whoops, I need to put together a dossier that needs my institution and my department's guidelines, and I need to make a case, and I need to write, and I need to collect all these pieces, and it's like I have no idea how to do all of that. On top, of course, you have to continue to write and publish, and most probably you're teaching summer courses, so you have a lot going on in your life, and that's why we thought that this is a good opportunity to get the help you need to put together all your materials. So when we started thinking about this, I reflected on my own process, and then I realized that I went through two stages. The first one was, as Christine mentioned, is what exactly I need to put in that dossier. Normally, they give you some guidelines. It's like, okay, you need to talk about your research, you need to talk about your teaching, you need to talk about your service. But what evidence do I need to put in each of the to meet the requirements or the benchmarks in each of those sections? Sometimes they just like, oh, put your course evals, put your peer reviews. Like, okay, what else? Because you want to make a compelling case for yourself. So you want to pick good pieces of evidence from everything you've done. So this is why we have the first workshop on August 8th on building your tenure and promotion dossier, what to put in each, and how to showcase the impact of your research, of your teaching, what pieces of evidence you need to actually showcase that impact. And something else that we're going to talk about is formatting your dossier, because the guidelines can be so confusing. I remember when I went up for my mid-tenure review, the biggest feedback I received from my department committee was, you formatted your entire dossier wrong. It's like, okay, excellent. So I have good materials, but I formatted it all wrong, and this can be a problem when the actual TMP time comes. So how to format your dossier, and what are some of the digital tools that you may use if your institution allows the use of these digital tools to make your life easier and to have a better looking and easier to navigate dossier. The second part of the tenure and promotion process is actually to start writing about everything in your dossier. And this alone
So
can,
true.
that's the other daunting. I don't want to say more daunting or less daunting, but it's daunting. It's really difficult to, especially when sometimes we don't know how to brag about our work, how to present it that we actually did some worthy work. Some of us like still have the humble attitude and approach. And I remember my former chair used to say, used to tell me, it's like, if you're ever gonna talk, if you're ever gonna brag about your work, this is the time to brag about your work for your tenure and promotion material. This is not the time to be humble and shy. No, this is the time to go all out. So how to actually do that in your writing, and how to showcase your impact, and how to highlight that you're actually doing some really good, badass work in everything you're doing.
I love it.
Teaching
And
these.
you got me thinking too, so many of us have pieces of evidence that we don't even know are pieces of evidence, or we don't understand why they might be pieces of evidence. So for example, I know with
Exactly.
faculty that I train, one of the pieces of evidence that I talk to them about using is something as simple as a syllabus. The fact that we've created one can be a compelling piece of evidence, but only in the way that you write about it. So for example, at my institution, we have an area of criteria called effective use of class time. And so I said, it's not enough to just attach a syllabus and say, well, here you go. You have to say, how is it effective use of class time? And so you might say, insert Microsoft Word comments on your syllabus that show the structure of the units. Like we're learning about X before we learn about Y. And then these particular assignments break down over the next 3 weeks to cover topic X, because you know how you put your syllabus together, but then the burden of proof is also on you to show that to a tenure and promotion committee to say why this is a compelling piece of evidence, but also how it meets the faculty manual requirements. That would be, something that you have to show that you meet, so that committee can basically make an easy decision. They say you've made the requirements.
Absolutely. And speaking to your point is that sometimes when we make the case and we start describing our materials and the evidence, sometimes we speak to ourselves in our head. We don't speak to actually people who are going to read these materials and that dossier and make that life-changing decision about your tenure and promotion. So for example, people who work in English departments know this firsthand, because you have people who are in composition, you have people in creative writing, in linguistics and literature, and people who have no idea what you may be doing in your classroom or in your scholarship. So how to make the case and talk to these people. And even if you come from a kind of like more homogeneous department, your dossier goes beyond your department. It goes to the college and then to the university tenure and promotion committee, which again have people who have no idea what you're talking about. So you need to describe and talk about your work to people who have no idea about your discipline, why you included that unit in that particular course, why you revised that unit in later iterations, how you modified this, how you upgraded that, how you removed an entire unit altogether. These are the decisions that you need to highlight. Mm-hmm. This is the evidence of your teaching effectiveness, and the evidence that you are a reflective teacher and scholar, how you respond to the feedback you receive, not just on your teaching, but on your scholarship and things like that. And of course, the service part, even though sometimes it's like at the bottom of our priorities, it's still an important piece that you need to highlight in your dossier, especially in teaching intensive institutions where service plays a big role, because you don't have to worry much about maybe scholarship. So these are all the pieces that we will cover in those 2 workshops. So let us help you navigate the murky water of tenure and promotion guidelines and materials and documents that you need to craft, and how to combine these 2 workshops will help you build a case for yourself that will get you to the desired outcome, which is tenure and or promotion.
Yeah, and thank you, Lillian, for explaining that. And I think, one other piece that I might want to encourage some of our pre-tenure track faculty or the tenure track faculty to listen to these workshops for would be, let's say you're only in your second year, it's still worth it, I think, to attend something like this because you have more lead time to make some of those cases. You can start writing some of the things early. So, even though we're talking about making a tenure and promotion case, and you might think, well, that's in year 4 or that's in year 6 or whatever it is, it's never too early to start. So we encourage, you can be in any stage on the tenure track to find these valuable. I would also argue, even if you're past the point of tenure, if your institution separates tenure and promotion, or you're looking ahead to even a promotion to full professor. I know Lillian has had some conversations about this.
Yes.
I've had some conversations about so we are definitely well equipped to help on that front too. So
yes, and you reminded me of something really important
yeah.
is collecting the evidence doesn't happen in the few months leading to your submission of tenure and promotion dossier. That collection of evidence starts with the first day on your job. So how to collect everything and how to archive everything and prepare it and organize it to be ready for your tenure and promotion time, or if you have a mid-tenure review after second or third or whatever year. So it's never too early to start attending these workshops because some of the things that I learned the hard way when I was putting together my tenure and promotion dossier is like, I wish somebody had told me this 2 years prior, because it would have made my life much easier at that time. So yes, it's never too early to start attending these workshops. So
No, and
definitely
we also
come.
do for people that are looking for, let's say you were going up for tenure and promotion and you don't have any of the evidence, or you jumped institutions and you're on an accelerated tenure clock, or you're in some kind of a panic about the writing and the evidence. While these workshops certainly can help, we certainly can answer questions in the workshops. You also can come to us for some individual advice on that front, and we're happy to help as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so if you want any more additional information, you'll also be able to email Lilian at lilian@defendpublishandlead.com, and you can ask questions. That is with the registration link that will be in our show notes, and we'll also make sure that we get it out on social media so everybody can find it. But we encourage you to join us, and happy writing this week.